Hello, in this exercise we will have a look at how to insert new rows into tables in SQL. We will do so by using insert statement, which is a standard insertion statement in any SQL database. We will start by creating employee database. We will do so by dropping any existing database called employee, if it exists. This is why we are using drop database if exists statement. We could have just used drop database followed by employee. However, if the database with that name doesn't exist already, it would have thrown an error. In our case here, if the database doesn't exist, it will do nothing. After that, we are running create database statement, which will create a new blank database called employee. And afterwards, we are pointing at our database by applying use statement followed by the database name. Once we've done that, we are creating a new table in the database called department. We are doing so by using create table keywords followed by the table name. After that, we are specifying the field names that the table will contain, and the fields are as follows. Department no, which is integer data type and is the primary key of the table, which means that it does not allow any null values, and it doesn't allow any duplicates either. Department name, which is varchar data type, which is a textual value, limited to 20 characters, which also doesn't allow any null values. Department log, which is also varchar, but this time it's limited to 50 characters. This field also doesn't allow any null values. If we execute these statements, we have just created our database and added department table to it. Next, we'll move on to our insert statement. We start our insert statement with insert into keywords, followed by the table name. After that, we are opening brackets and specifying the list of the fields. In our case, we are specifying all the fields in exactly the same order as they are present in the table. However, it's up to you which fields you will specify for insertion statement. If you choose to do so, if you choose to only update certain fields in a new row that you are inserting into the database, there are several things to note. If any of your fields does not allow null values, and you have not specified any default values for it, you have to use that field in your insert statement, otherwise your insert statement will fail. Unless otherwise specified, a default value for any of your fields will be null. After we've defined our field names, we are closing the brackets, and we are using keyword values. After that, we are opening brackets once again, and we are specifying the values that we are inserting into the columns of the table. We are using the same data types as the fields above, and we are using the values in exactly the same order. So in our case, 1 corresponds to department number, ENGG corresponds to department name, and Texas corresponds to department location. What we expect to get after this insert statement is a table department with a single row that contains department number 1 with the name ENGG and location Texas. If we execute this statement and then select all the fields from department table, this is exactly what we have here. And that concludes our exercise on inserting a single row into a database table.